A moment ago, you expressed the concern about how do you know that your funds raised are going to valid grassroots organisations such as churches, hospitals, schools or sports clubs, correct? And can I call you young sir over here? Young sir, you expressed a frustration about having to provide some basic details to prove that the organisation was a not-for-profit when you registered. Yep, great. You two should catch up and have a conversation. This is the issue that I want to talk about now. On the one hand, we want to make it as easy as possible for people to register and to create an account. On the other hand, you seek assurance of where your funds go, that it is going to a registered not-for-profit and all of those sorts of things. So what I want to do very quickly is to walk you through what's needed, why we ask for it, and then hopefully I can manage both of your contradictory expectations. Okay? Great. We are raising funds for not-for-profits. We have to protect our customers so that they know that their funds are going to valid not-for-profits only. When you register or create an account as an organisation, the account is suspended until we receive the necessary documentation, information and credentials to validate the not-for-profit status of the organisation. This slows down your registration and the creation of an account, I understand, but this also gives you the certainty that you will look for. So, just as you have to prove certain things when you create a bank account, and because this is real money moving around, what we say is when you register as an organisation, because you're receiving the funds raised, you need to have a valid bank account in the name of the organisation with a recognised financial service institution. Yep, I see you smiling now. So, you cannot be the Love of Life Foundation and have a bank account in the name of ABC Proprietary Limited. It has to be with a recognised financial services organisation. You have to give us proof of your not-for-profit standing, whether you email it to us, fax it, carrier pigeon it, send it in the mail, we come and collect it from you, or whatever it is, you need to prove your not-for-profit standing. If you're in Australia, you must have an ABN number, which is the Australian business number, or if you're in another country, you have an equivalent business number, and most not-for-profits in most countries are required to have a business number or equivalent. And if you're a registered charity, you also need to provide the details to show that you're a registered charity. And if you're sales tax exempt, we also need to see that. And again, we just need to see electronic copies. This is about protecting the reputation of your organisation and ours as well, because you will need this to be compliant. This is how we protect your brand, so that everybody knows that our system is now safe, secure, compliant and transparent fundraising. This is important to your brand as an organisation, correct? Yeah. It gives confidence to your contributors, your supporters, your donors that you've met all these criteria. And what's more, sir, you expect this, don't you? Correct. And above all, we're just following the laws of the land or the state or however you want to term it. Now, yes, it does slow the creation of account down. However, what we say to you is, when you create a bank account, you're expected to provide the same thing. If you go to a direct payment supplier, such as BPay, to set up a direct debit, you have to give the same information. You have to give similar information when you apply for a credit card. You register with PayPal, especially in Australia. You have to do this because of compliance with anti-money laundering, anti-terrorism, and those sorts of things. And when you're raising funds and you need a permit from the regulator, you have to give this information anyway. Okay, so far? Good. So, we require this information because others require this information from us. We've talked about payments, we've talked about charities and the regulators, we've talked about the anti-money laundering and the counter-terrorism, financial institutions want it, financial regulators want it, and gaming regulators want it. So, if you want a fully compliant, fully transparent, safe and secure system, this is the cost of admission to the sandpit in those terms. If you want to raise funds outside of the system and carry the risk, that's your choice. We're trying to make this to minimise the inconvenience as possible, which is your point over here. Well, as an organisation, you should have this information already anyway. And like I said, you can copy, send it to us, send a picture on your iPhone, and all of those sorts of things. We only seek this level of information from an organisation. If you're registering as an individual, you don't have to go through this extended process. And for an organisation, you have your bank account, you provide your bank account details. You do that once. Then take advantage of the group account function that we have to create groups for everything else associated with your organisation. So if you're a sporting organisation, you've got all the multiple teams. Make them groups, they're just using the common bank account. You're a school and you've got multiple teams, multiple classrooms, multiple projects that all need funding. Make them all groups and you will minimise the overhead. So, the reason that we ask for this information is because it's of your benefit to know that the organisations who are receiving funds are a valid not-for-profit, they're compliant, and they're following the rules that are laid down. Yep, still a bit frustrated for you, understand that. Sir, I see you're smiling, so at least I've got one happy customer over here. Thank you.